I prepared my biodata, I used to prepare my own questions and I used to prepare my own answers. So what happened this time that I had 5 answers for each question, and my last answer was the best answer.
So hi everyone, I welcome you all to another episode of NABARD Grade A 2023 Topper Series. Today with me is Miss Harshala. She has cleared the examination with flying colors. She started with UPSC preparation and now she has cleared the NABARD Grade A examination. So I welcome you Harshala to the channel and many congratulations for clearing this exam.
Thanks a lot.
Alright Harshala, we will be starting from the introduction. People would like to know about your education background and कहाँ से आपने पढ़ाई शुरू करी वगैरह वगैरह. So let's start with the brief introduction.
Hello everyone, my name is Harshala. I am from Mumbai, Maharashtra. So I'm a mechanical engineer and I started preparing for UPSC in mid 2018, that is June 2018. And I was preparing for UPSC and for some reasons I had to switch to state PCS. That's when I started for state PCS in after COVID 2020. And then I used to watch Skims video of Manish sir, and then that's when I came across this NABARD examination. I went through the notification and I started studying NABARD in 2021. So this was my overall third attempt of NABARD and second interview, and I have cleared interview this time.
Alright Harshala, so we'll start from your previous attempts only, right? So we would like to know that this was your third attempt at NABARD. So what went wrong in the previous attempts? So have you identified those mistakes of yours or not?
I feel I was not prepared enough for the to clear the examination. So I was preparing chunk, and I think this time I had enough of material with me, enough of preparation with me, enough of understanding of examination, what the requirement is, and I think that is when I cleared the examination this time.
Okay, so I think it's very important to identify the mistakes because generally people do not clear any examination in their first attempt. So, what do you think? How important is this that we need to identify the mistakes and we have to work upon it?
I think this is the most important part of any examination, I would say, that you prepare, but you have to analyze yourself. You have to analyze your mistakes, you have to work on those mistakes, and you have to correct yourself. And that is when you are, when you are preparing for the second attempt or third attempt or whatever attempt it is, you have to identify your mistakes from previous attempt. That's when you progress and you are fit for the second attempt, I feel. So it is very important to identify your own mistakes, compare yourself with your previous version and not with others, and that's how you do it. I feel that is the important.
Yes, I think you have very rightly pointed out that you have the competition with yourself, not with any other one. So, yes, I would like to ask this thing that people who are preparing for UPSC, right? So, their second preference is always RBI Grade B examination. So, you must have also given RBI Grade B examination, right?
I have never given RBI examination, or I have never thought of giving RBI examination as well, because I was not very much into that finance part. So my background is mechanical engineering, and I prepared for UPSC. And I heard of this NABARD, and I went through the syllabus. I found some common syllabus with my UPSC thing, with my state PCS, and I just started preparing for NABARD. I never thought of giving RBI. I had never heard of RBI even. After last time when I was not able to clear NABARD interview, the first interview, I had so many friends. We had one group, and there were so many people, though, like aspirants who have not cleared, and they were going to appear for NABARD. The RBI, I think, because it was upcoming examination. So many asked me that why don't you try for RBI if you are not cleared NABARD examination. That's when I got to know about RBI Grade B examination. But I never thought of giving RBI because I was not little interested in finance part. I wanted to prepare for NABARD, and I started preparing for I continued my preparation for state PCS also simultaneously. So I never thought of giving RBI.
Okay, I think this is something which is very unique about you because I have met a lot of people who have cleared NABARD examination, but their first preference was always RBI. But I think this clarity is very, very important that what all you want to do in your life.
Yeah, because I don't I never wanted to just rush behind examinations. I wanted to find that suitability for me or my interest, and then I would prepare for it. I I never ran before any exam. I like chose the exams and I prepared for it.
And I think NABARD के साथ issue ये भी है that people generally think this that you will be get posted in rural areas and you'll have to work with farmers and all. But I think this is not the actual job profile of NABARD people. They have to work with the chief ministers, they have to work with IS officers, they have to work in the area of rural development. So I think this is a misconception about NABARD, that people think that okay, they have to be posted in rural areas, they have to stay in rural areas.
So I feel if you want to be in a government service and you want to work for your nation, so why not work for rural development when our country is like 70% of people stay in rural area? Then actual development will come from the rural areas. And if you want to serve your nation, why don't you think like that you have to work for rural area only? Urban area is already developing. Why do you want to develop it further? You have to bring the rural people into development. So I feel that you have to think like that. So I don't think that should be the problem, that you will be posted in rural area. And even if you are posted, you are working for them, right? And you have that satisfaction, okay, I am bringing this people into the mainstream, I am doing development thing for my nation. So I think that should be the motivation, instead of thinking like that I will be posted in rural area and all that. You have to do that. You are living in this country, and if you want to work for this country, you have to start from rural area.
Yes, wonderful. I think this approach is very good because urban areas are already developed. So if we want to bring a change, we can only do it in rural areas. Right? Wonderful. Okay, so let's start with the strategy part now. We will be starting from the phase one. So in phase one, we have two types of subjects: non-merit and merit. So we'll start from non-merit part. Subject-wise, what were your strategies in non-merit, and then we'll come to the merit part.
Okay. So we have 5 subjects in non-merit. That's quant, reasoning, English, decision making, and current affairs. So for quant and reasoning, I relied on solving questions rather than going into any, like, my quant and reasoning is little above average, I would say. So it was enough for me to go through the questions. So you have to set a time, you have to solve the questions. If you're not able to solve the questions, see some YouTube videos on it, or I had books, I used to refer those. I used to refer to tricks, and I used to solve. So for quant and reasoning, I relied on solving more and more questions. Then for English, so my English is also average, I would say. So for English, what happens is you have bigger sentences, and you have 30 questions to solve in English. And English cutoff, I would say it is little up. So you have to practice by solving the questions within that time, because the words are also little heavy and heavy to understand the meaning. And then finally you have to go to the answer. So I feel for English also the same strategy works. You have to read. Basically whatever you read in English, be it newspaper, be your books, it will help eventually in your English preparation. Additionally, what you have to do is you have to solve questions, as many questions as you can, and you have to analyze those. You have to work on your mistakes. Those mistakes which you work on, it will be there in your mind in exam also. Okay, I did that mistake there, I won't be able to repeat it. Like, you won't repeat it, you won't be allowed to repeat, because you have it in mind that you have rectified and you know the correct answer. For English, this. So for decision making, I again relied on online sources. So when I started in 2021, decision making was introduced for the first time then. And my connection with decision making is nothing, because I never had a subject like that in my academics, or I had never studied it in my UPSC or state PCS preparation. So what I did was I relied on online sources, whatever there it was. So what happened in first attempt, so the exam, whatever questions they asked in exam, they were very different from what I got from online sources, because nobody knew that what they are expecting in decision making. But in second attempt, people had enough of material, enough of understanding that what areas they are touching in decision making. So I again relied on online sources. I made notes for myself. I touched the topics they are asking the questions. I explored them, and then I refer to the same notes for decision making. I relied on solving questions as well. And decision make sorry, the current affairs session.
Computer awareness.
Computer. Okay, computer again. For computer, I had referred to Lucent. There is computer awareness by Lucent. I started with that in 2021. I revised the same. I went to online sources. So they run marathon sessions on subject wise. So for computers, I refer to marathon sources. Whatever the questions they used to ask, I used to solve those questions. I used to refer to the solutions, and that's how I prepared my computer notes, my own notes for every subject. And for then current affairs, I relied on PIB sessions. So what I did was for non-merit and merit session, both things I refer to current affairs. So what I did for current affairs is I did not refer to magazine because मेरे पास इतना time था नहीं तभी. तो what I did कि मैंने एक बुक बनाया हुआ था with all with so many sections, like you have portals, you have MOU agreements, you have some apps, you have some figures. ये परसेंटेज इंक्रीज हुआ है, ये सेंसस में इतना हुआ है, इतने इतने अमाउंट अलॉकेट हुए हैं, द फिगर्स यू हैव. So for facts, I would add those figures into the facts. Then you have different apps, like there is Avasoft, there is this Bhuvan portal. So all those things I used to maintain a book for that. So whenever I went through PIB sessions, I used to pick those things from there and I used to write down in my book. That's how I prepared a book for current affairs, and I refer to that book in phase 1 and phase 2 also. That book remains same. So that's how I prepared for this non-merit session.
Okay, so here I would like to ask you a question. If you can recall those online sources for decision making, because decision making is something which is very difficult for the people. Like this year also, I met a lot of people who could not clear the sectional cutoff for decision making. So if you can recall any sources that you followed.
Okay. So one source was yours, Anuj Jindal's, and there 2-3 sources. There were 2-3 sources. One was yours, and I am not able to recall. I'm so sorry. I'll mention it later, but I am not able to recall it now. But I have my notes made from those sources. I have it with me.
All right. So let's come to the ESI and ARD part. So both are, we have 40 questions each in phase 1. So what were the strategies for ESI and ARD?
Okay. So for ESI, there are two things. One is static and one is dynamic, the current affairs. For static, I relied on my whatever I had prepared for economics, for civil services, or my state PCS. I relied on that. I did not do anything much for static portion. For dynamic, so what happens in ESI? It is economic and social issues, right? So economic and social issues related schemes you have. Then you have PIB sessions related to the same things. Then you have to go through budget, you have to go through survey, you have to go through census. There is handloom census, there is national family health surveys there. So all these things I went through them. There are flagship schemes, there are new schemes which are they are announced in your schemes, or for some schemes they have made some changes. They have invented some app or some portal or in it, or they have changed the budget amount, or they have extended the scheme. So those things you have to keep tap on, and that's how I prepared for ASI dynamic portion. For ARD, it has more to do with static portion as well. So I am being from non-agri background. Initially, I had no idea what should I prepare for ARD. I went through the syllabus, and I found that for like I was preparing for state PCS simultaneously. So we have in GS1 we have agricultural science, and GS4 we have agricultural economics. So those things were helpful for me in my NABARD as well. Then I had picked a random book from Amazon for I think Agriculture at Glance. I think it's by Harshala publication. There are so many authors to it. So I won't say that is the perfect book for the ARD preparation, but they had so many chapters related to our ARD. Like there's agronomy, animal husbandry is there, horticulture is there. So I read that book and I kept that with me till last. So I referred to that book with my state PCS notes for static portion of agriculture. And again for dynamic portion, you have to refer to PIB related to agriculture. Then you have to do schemes related to the ministries. The ministry there, like rural development, you have to go for. Then animal husbandry, you have to go for. So those schemes I referred for ARD.
ठीक है. Okay, so before moving to the phase 2 strategy, I would like to talk about the mock test. So what is the importance of mock test in phase 1?
It is, I would say it is so much. It is the most important thing you have to do, because eventually what you have to do is you have to solve those many questions in that much time. So if you if you go just prepare and go for the examination, you won't be able to solve those questions within that time. You won't be able to think in that stress, okay, what should I mark, what should I not mark. So basically exam is objective, the phase one is objective. There is negative marking, you have to take chance, you have to take risk. So whether should I mark this question or not, and where will you practice this? You have to give mock sessions, so mock tests. So mock tests are very important. You have to analyze yourself from mock tests, you have to analyze your mistakes, you should not repeat that mistakes in actual exam. There is no room to repeat the mistakes in actual examination. Whatever you do, whatever mistakes you do, it is only in the mocks. So solve as many mocks as possible, solve PYQ questions, and I feel that is the most important thing in any examination. It is not just phase one of NABARD. Any examination, you have to give mocks, you have to analyze yourself, and then you go to the actual exam.
Okay, wonderful. Now let's come to the phase 2 strategy. So in phase 2 we have two papers, ESI ARD and English descriptive, है ना? So let's talk about ESI ARD first, then we'll talk about English.
Okay, so whether it is ESIRD, whether it is English, you have to do writing practice more here. So in ESI portion of phase 2, you have two separate sessions. There is objective part and then there is descriptive part. For objective part, I would say the phase 1 material you follow that only. But in what happens in objective part, they ask in deep the schemes they ask, whatever it is, agricultural science they ask, it is deep. So you have to go in deep, you have to understand the topic, and you have to do like that for objective part, I would say. So what happens is they ask passage on flagship schemes. There is MG Narega, there was passage on MG Narega. But if you only read schemes from just refer to the scheme, you won't be able to solve the questions, because they ask very deep. They will ask some current development, they'll ask some very important thing about the scheme. So you have to refer to schemes very thoroughly, first thing. Then you have to read ARD's static very nicely, because they require that for objective. For descriptive, you have to do answer writing practice, that is typing practice for answer typing. So it is not enough to just read the things, you have to type the answers yourself, you have to analyze yourself, you have to stick to the word limit as well, and you have to do answer writing practice a lot. So what happened last time, I had taken this phase 2 test series, writing test series. We had so in October 4, the result was out of phase 1, and 29th of October there was phase 2. So approximately we had 20 to 22 days for answer writing practice. What I did was, I had your test series with me, and you used to take live tests. Then I used to write it very rigorously, very religiously. I followed it. Alternate days we used to do, one day we used to do ESIRD, next day we used to do English test. So morning 8 we would start, by 9:30 we would finish, and then for 1 hour, next 1 hour you used to analyze the questions. That was very helpful. This time also that was helpful for me, because I knew this time what I have to do, what I should not do. This time what happened, there was only 15 days, I would say, from the result to the phase 2, but I knew what I have to do, and these things are, there are no excuses, you have to do these things. So this time what I did was, I had 15 days, I had calculated that. For first 5 days I followed the last year's strategy. I wrote one test in the morning, and then I revised for rest of the day. But it did not work, because I had less days. So what I did, for next 10 days, I wrote 2 tests in the day. I used to sit in the morning at 7 a.m. I used to write one test for ESIRD, and then in the night from 9 to 10:30 I used to write second test, and then I used to go home. So that I followed rigorously for 10 days. And okay, you have to do it. You have no excuses. We have one saying in Marathi, that केल्याने होता आहे रे आधी केलेची पाहिजे, that you have to do it first, then it will happen eventually. You cannot just procrastinate things and keep on saying that, okay, I'll do it. You have to do it then and there. So I did writing practice very rigorously. What questions I followed? So I followed one test series questions. Your test series I had, you had given me free of cost this year, so I followed that. Secondly, I have my one friend. So what happened, last year we were in the interview, and we both did not clear interview. So this time we were in touch. phase 2, she was there for the phase 2 and I was there for the phase 2. So what we used to do is we used to prepare questions for ourselves. We used to prepare questions on flagship schemes. We used to prepare questions on current events. So G20 was there, so we had question on current events. Then we used to prepare questions on budget, surveys, census, whatever you have in hand. For there is forest census, there is agricultural census, there is livestock census. So we used to prepare questions randomly. We used to write an answer, a comprehensive answer, which will include everything. So whatever the question may be, you should be able to answer that. So we used to prepare questions, we used to write, we used to exchange the answers, we used to analyze for each other, and then we used to discuss, so what went wrong, what this should include, what that should include. So I did answer writing practice like that.
Yes, I think you have pointed out very correctly that there is a fear among all the aspirants regarding answer writing.
Yeah.
So the only answer to this fear is you have to do it.
You have to do it. Yes.
Okay, once if you are not starting it, you won't be able to identify that what all mistakes you are going to do.
Yes.
And प्रॉब्लम यही है कि वो स्टार्ट ही नहीं करते
Yes.
मैं मेरे से कभी भी कोई स्टूडेंट ये पूछता है दैट हाउ शुड आई स्टार्ट,
हाँ.
तो मैं उसको यही बोलता हूँ कि जस्ट गिव इट अ स्टार्ट.
Yes.
Right? Only then you will be able to identify what are the problems.
So I'm so sorry. I
Yes.
wanted to add this. So I get this. So what happens is when you start it, now you have nothing in mind. So you go blank. I don't know what to write. What should I write? So what I did in the first, I did little cheating. Whatever question I used to get, I used to refer to the model answer first. I used to go through the model answer. For 2 tests, I did this. I went through the model answers and then I wrote the question. And then I was a little prepared. Then whatever question came to me, I just wrote the answer. Whatever came in my mind, I tried to write it. And then I analyzed it. And then I corrected it. Okay, I corrected it. But it took a lot of time, I know that, but you have to do it. There is no option. You get blank, I understand, everyone gets blank by writing answer. You have nothing in head, what should I write, is it correct to write this thing or that thing? Then you have so many things to write and you don't know what will fit there, what. So the answer to this is you have to write, you have to get it analyzed, and you have to work on your mistakes or whatever thing it is.
Yes, wonderful. Okay, Harshala, let's come to the last phase of this examination, interview. So 2 questions I have. Number 1, how did you prepare for it? And number 2, what was the actual interview experience?
So for interview last year, though, it was like very, I would say, I did not know what to prepare. Whatever I had heard from here and there, that you have to prepare NABARD report, you have to go through SFP, PLP, you have to go through the NABARD website, then you have to prepare your biodata very good, very well. They'll question you, the cross question will happen on your biodata. You have to know yourself. First, you know yourself, what you are as a person, then you go to the interview, because then they will be interested in knowing what person you are, and then you should be able to answer that. So last year I did all these things, and this year I had it in mind. Okay, so this year what happened is 17 they introduced psychometric test this time, so it took little time, and after psychometric test they announced interview dates on 17th of Feb they announced, and 27th of Feb they started with the interviews. So I had 10 days of gap. My interview was on first day. So I already knew that I have to do SFP, PLP. I had already started with NABARD report, because I knew that I have to do it, because I was there in already psychometric test, and I knew that I am I am there for the interview. So I started with the NABARD annual report initially. I read through report, I read SFP, PLP. I was done with these 3 things. Like one reading I had done with. Then what I did when interview dates came, I revised these things. In addition to that, I went to the NABARD website. And second thing, I prepared my biodata very well this time. So last year, I was not prepared with my biodata. I was not able to handle the cross questioning. So this is, I think people will find this is the most easy thing, that you should be able to handle questions on your biodata. But no, you have to, what happens is you get to know that you don't know yourself. So you have to do that. So what I did for biodata this time, so I prepared my biodata. I used to prepare my own questions, and I used to prepare my own answers. So what happened this time, that I had 5 answers for each question, and my last answer was the best answer, because I used to think on it. And then eventually I got to know that, okay, these things I have to do. You have to brainstorm yourself, you have to ask yourself, and then eventually you will get the real answers. It is not that you will not get real answers and you have to ask somebody, okay, I am not getting answer to this and that. You have to brainstorm, you have to think a lot, you have to brainstorm on it. and eventually you will be able to find answer a best answer for yourself. So I had prepared my own questionnaire this time. Okay, last time also I had prepared, I had it with me this time also, but I had more good, or I would say more qualitative answer this time to the same questions. So I prepared for myself like that. And actual interview experience was very good, I would say. What I had thought of the interview was 50 to 60% it was like that only. So they started with biodata. Then I had a project with related to agriculture in my college I had done in the final year. So I had mentioned it there. So I cross questioning happened from that also, and I was able to take the cross questioning. That I would say it was a good point of like out of my preparation, that I was able to handle the cross questioning very well. And then interview went on like for in agricultural. So digital agricultural they asked mechanization of agriculture. They asked my what my contribution will be for agriculture. Regarding my project, they asked, okay, what NABARD can do for this project, what can be done. The interview was like that only. So it is not that interview will be very extreme, and you will get this question, you will get that question. Basics you have to prepare. So if it gets extreme, no one can help it, but basics you should be able to thorough with. Like you should be able to do it. You should be thorough with the basics first, and then you think about the extremes. Don't start your preparation thinking about the extremes. Okay, interview happens like this and interview happens like that. There are so many you know wrong things people hear about interview. You have to prepare yourself basic things, whatever. So whatever it is there in your hand, it is in your plate, you first prepare that, and then you think about other things. So stick to your biodata and basic questions, and you'll be able to do it.
Can you please elaborate this basic things? What do you mean by this basic things?
So first is your biodata. You have to be thorough with your biodata. Whatever answer you get, it should be true answer. You cannot fake things there, because then you have to take their cross questions. So you should be able to handle their cross questioning. So it is not that your answer is very basic and his or her answer is very nice, so I need to modify my answer like that. No, you give your answer, they'll take it as it is. They are very experienced people. They know, they understand from your eyes whether you're faking or whether you're true in your answer. So whatever it is your answer. Okay, some with some, what happens with some people, that they are from rural area, hence they want to work in rural area. But what they get feedback as this is not the good answer. You should give some good answer. They should feel like okay, this is the answer, this is some unique answer. People run behind that unique answer. So this is not the thing. You have to be true to yourself. Why you entered the field, you think on yourself and you give that answer. It is okay if it is basic, they will take it as you give it, and they will cross question on that. So it is important that you should be able to handle that cross questioning, and it will only happen if you give your true answer. So this is the basic thing. Second basic thing is agriculture. So you have prepared a lot, you have come through the to till this point to the interview, so you have prepared something about the agriculture. So basic things you have to go through. You should know about the organization you are going to. So in private also it happens, you go to the organization and then you go for the interview. So same, they're expecting the same thing. You have to go through the organization. So how will you know about the organization? You have to go through their website, you have to go through annual reports, their achievements, what they are doing for this, for that, for rural empowerment, for women empowerment, what are they doing. So you have to go through that. So these are the basic things. First you do this, and then you go for extreme questions if you have any.
All right, wonderful. All right, Harshala, that's it. That's all that I wanted to discuss with you. And chalte chalte, if you have any last message, any motivating thing that you want to tell the students, you are most welcome.
Yeah. Hello. I would like to mention few things, that don't study without timetable. You prepare your own timetable. It has to be comprehensive, and you follow it religiously and rigorously. So if not half, your 1/4 work is done if you follow a timetable. You change your timetable as and when you want. Like I used to have various timetables with me. I used to change my timetables by 15 days, by 20 days, by a month. Sometimes I used to add some things, I used to delete some things from them which I have done already. So study with timetable, don't study without timetable. Second thing, have faith in yourself. Don't look at others, have faith in yourself. You do it chunk wise. I won't say that you have to do it like for 6 months I have to do this and for a year I have to do this. You prepare your day-to-day timetable. You prepare for your weekly schedule, and you follow that. Once you have been through that week, then you think for the next week. So you will be able to finish chunk by chunk like this. And I would say prepare. Okay, you have to do it. If you want to do it, you do it. Don't procrastinate things that I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow, or next week I'll do it. You have to do it. If answer writing practice you have to do, then don't think that okay, morning I'm not feeling well, or I'm little bored, then I'll do it next day, or I'll do it in evening. So evening will it will happen the same in the evening as well. It will happen same in the next day also. So don't procrastinate things. Start with your preparation. uh, be it you are very naive, everyone is at the first time there, it is first time for everyone. So you have to start it, and that's how you do it. So start preparing, don't think about the end results, have faith in yourself and prepare for yourself.
Wonderful, Harshala. Thank you very much for sharing the strategy. I hope people will definitely like your strategy, and I wish you all the best for the future. This is a small gift for you from our side.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, and thanks your team, because I am here. I am in the preparation. I came into the preparation for your because of you. I used to refer to your schemes video for my state services, and that's when I came. I got to know about the NABARD, and that's when I started preparing for NABARD in 2021. So thanks to you and your whole team. It was very wonderful journey with you guys, and I hope to stay with you after this also.
Thank you, Harshala. All right, guys. So that was Harshala for us. I hope you guys have learned a lot from her journey. I think there are a lot of things that you can learn from her journey. So I'll see you with some another topper in another episode of NABARD Grade A 2023 Topper Series. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Goodbye, take care, and God bless.